All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm here today with Richard and James. Richard is the owner and CEO of Kingslayer Cards, and James is the manager. He's also team manager for the competitive Vanguard team of Kingslayer Cards, and he's also the host for the podcast King's Court, correct?
Yes.
All right.
It's been a while.
Richie, anything you have to say to start up?
We're very much looking forward to this interview. James is going to do a lot of talking. That's why he's drinking right now.
I do most of the heavy lifting in this group. It's going to be very funny.
All right. So last time we heard from you guys, it was in your podcast, and it was back in May. What have you guys been doing ever since?
No, I mean, running the store, trying to keep things new in the store, trying to plan next events, thinking about, this is not a promise or anything, but we are thinking about running a 10K in the future. I think later on in the thing you have questions more for that. We'll touch that.
Yeah.
Just been busy, man. Just work, doing everything, trying to make this guy do more talking. All this stuff. Anything you've been doing?
We had a really busy month in June because every single game that we have released a set. So that means we have to pay for all that stuff and find money to pay for all that stuff.
But you guys have been doing good. I mean, like.
No, we've been doing good.
Oh, yeah. We've been fine.
So with that being said, and you're mentioning Richie wanting to talk. This goes to Richard. You started. This is like getting back to your beginnings. You started a Vanguard competitive team, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you started this last year. How did this started? How did it come?
So, I never wanted a competitive team originally, but then
You heard that, guys?
I never
Y'all
wanted
not
it.
wanted.
Never. Then James talked to me and he's like, "We can have so much fun with it. We can have people who represent us go to places." And I'm like, you know what? This is actually a pretty good idea, and it has been a fantastic idea. We have players all over the U.S. going to events, Bushy-Road events or other events like Battle Spirits. That was a big one this last weekend. And, they're advertising for us and helping us promote the brand.
That's awesome. James, what was the mastermind behind making this happen?
Well, I wanted to be part of the team, but I didn't get the privilege. But no, I just told him. I said I've always wanted a team to represent the store. I think it was a great idea because when I first started Vanguard, because I don't know if people know that because I don't know what's going to be on said, but I remember being part of PPG, Team PPG back when I was younger, like 5-6 years ago, and I always thought it was a good idea. I'm like, we were sponsoring their brand, and then things happened where it just disbanded and everything, and then when I finally met Richard again, we just decided to work together. I was like, it can't be just us going advertising and everything, because we can't be everywhere at once. Yeah. So I'm like, we have a bunch of friends that like to travel. There's a bunch of players that recognizes our events and stuff like that. I was like, so I tried to bug Richard for about maybe 2 months, saying, hey, I think we should have a team. Listen, it shouldn't be a problem to buy a jacket as a welcoming thing. Put your name on there, and they do the rest. And honestly, ever since then, like if you've seen our members, now they have the jerseys that they paid for. We try to help them as best as we can, but now they have the brand. They're going out there. They're going to these events and they're doing a really, really good job. Like he just said, we literally sent maybe 8 of our team members that went to Ohio for Battle Spirits. Okay. I know he made a shout out to Angel Santiago and Emil, because I know Emil wasn't wearing our stuff, but he comes to the shop a lot and he represents. Angel got top 4. And I know we ordered an express shirt for him, and he wore it, which was awesome to see. And it's been a privilege, man. It's wonderful people that have been there. Shout out to everybody that if you guys see this, Crow, Marshall, Andrew, Alex, everybody. You know, if I can't say your names, it's because I'm not trying to waste a lot of time.
What
But-
about the Black Messiah?
He's too busy. You know, no, just kidding. You know, shout out to Ali. But yeah, and even Peter. You know, Peter's one of our judges, and you know, he has his jersey and everything. It's been a very fun ride so far.
So you mentioned right now that this is the first event that your team goes to Ohio for Battle Spirit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's fairly new, the game.
Yeah,
You know, here in-
This is the third event
Yeah.
that Ohio for Pro Tour.
And you got two guys, at least one that made top 8, correct?
Yeah, they both made top 8.
Okay.
Well, one got knocked out in top 8. But he's a casual that comes to the store.
Yeah.
But he's a very, you know, good friends with Richard and everything. He's not on the team, but he does represent.
Okay.
That's a mill. But then we have Angel Santiago, who's, I'm not gonna lie, who's been begging to be on the team and, you know, stuff. We just haven't had openings yet. But he went out there, Richard. He came to us asking for a shirt. You know, even though it's not our jersey or anything, he's like, listen, I'm going to Ohio. I really want to represent your brand. Can you make me a shirt? And Richard was like, fine. He was like, cool, we'll do it. Shipped it out, expressed it, and he made top 4. I saw him on stream wearing it and everything. He did a really good job. Also, funny fact, I saw during the Twitch stream, because we were driving down from Crow's Nest, and I saw Andrew's Condrick is a picture of him shaking somebody on the advertisement for Ohio.
Wow.
And I took a quick picture of it, and it's literally him just shaking.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
So that's already
awesome.
already branding. You know, the
Yeah.
fact that, you know, they took a picture of him, and we were lucky he was wearing the
It's
jersey.
branching out into other areas, so that's amazing because you guys also sent your team for the first time to regionals recently after making it, and they also topped
Yes.
right on their first event, correct?
Yeah, I wonder who in this room was on that team. Okay, Mr. Chaos Breaker.
No. I'm saying
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
Oh, well, I was talking about Texas.
No. Last year.
Oh, okay.
Last year, when you first made.
Oh yeah. When we first made the
you
team,
went to Georgia,
yeah, and
and one of the team that in
Well,
team league got third place.
was it team or no? It was singles.
Springfest.
It was Springfest.
With Marshall, Andrew, and Eric.
Yeah. They top
They
third.
got third place, right?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Bronze.
And then they go back again later on that year for singles
Yes.
in the
Crow.
championship series, BCS. And then you got teammates again, your team members topping,
Yeah.
with one of them making it to Worlds.
Yeah. Well, two of them make it.
Two.
Andrew Condrick won
Yeah.
premium with Norakami, and Crow took V again this time.
and Kalen too, right?
And Kaylin got the was it an invite?
Kalen got third, I think, for V.
For V Premium, right?
Yeah, he
Yes.
got V, and he paid to go over there.
And Sakib got second, I
And
think.
Sakib got second.
That was a
So-
crazy top 3.
Yeah, this shit is- I didn't think about how many people did it. It was crazy.
So like when all this happened, you made the team, and in that same year you had like back-to-back tops, like right out of the gate, with people even going into Worlds. How did that make you feel? Like how does it affect like your store? Like did it change anything?
So when that happened, we had James Albright win in Standard, Crow win in V, and then Andrew win in Premium. I was like, oh my god, this team is amazing. This was so worth it. Like,
After like me telling him like, can you believe what happened? And mind you, at this time, James Albright wasn't on our team, but we came to a recent event and we got him on the team. There's no difference. His accomplishments is his accomplishments.
Yeah.
And you know, we were scouting and we were looking around, and we were honored. You know, we got Sakib, and then we got James Albright and Kaylin and then David and all those people that we invited at one of our Ramada events. But I think it was more of a shock to see it happen. Like I felt like we won the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Like making the team, and then just back to back. Oh, Crow won V. Oh my God, Crow won V. You got James Albright winning in over there. Then you got Kaylin getting third, and it's Sakib second, and then you got Andrew taking it. Like that's like, and especially in Georgia, where you got WCC always winning with Noman and all them.
Georgia is a very
Georgia's
strong
like the
state.
hardest, strong state to win in, and it was just like winning a Super Bowl, man. It was winning like a World Series. It was very, very surprising.
Did it affect your brand?
Oh yeah. Oh man, we used to get like 150 orders.
Yeah, like that's just for TCG player, but like playset wise, especially after that, we started selling splits, all over instead of just Florida, which was really nice. So we got a bunch more Georgia splits, and then I met some people in Tennessee who started ordering from us. And then we also have the Scholar, who started his videos around somewhere a little after that, around Worlds, I think. And he's been great too with his promo code. That's how I know where they come from.
Yeah,
there's a lot of the Scholars.
He's been grinding that promo code. Yeah, so thank you, Devlin. A little side note with that. Yesterday you had in your shop Joseph, right?
Yeah, Joseph Ma.
Yeah, and very nice guy and everything.
Oh, he was great.
Then when I went home, like really late, like 1 in the morning, I go into Facebook and he already has a post of the store, like how great it was for him over here. And I'm going through the comments, and I'm seeing on Vanguardians like all these comments saying, "Oh, King's Lair cards. Oh, I know that place. Oh, I order from there a lot." So like, I think that's also part of all that notoriety that you guys have been grabbing, right?
Yeah.
Well, moving on. Your team grows and like you guys keep going with your podcast, which by the way, they're amazing, they're funny, people have loved them, they've been craving for it. You got like some great characters in there. You guys got Zoran, you guys got Ali, James.
I still don't, nothing I've said in this podcast has been a lie. Okay? And by the way, I'm sorry, TY TIE Fighter, okay? Just, you know why. Just give a little shout out.
Yeah, so then like you stop making the podcast, you gotta just like recharge your energy somehow, because you're not doing just this, right? Like you're also running
the
stores, you're also doing events in Central Florida. Can you tell us a bit about that? Like people think, oh, like it stopped, like they're not doing anything, but can you guys?
So the amount of energy to run TCG player takes a lot out of me. You know this, Jane. It's like nonstop, and TCG player is how the store makes a lot of its money, right? So it's a necessary evil. And I think our account is definitely within the top 5 for Vanguard sales. And it's just constant sorting, shipping. Like, you all who order from us know, like...
You don't know how much time and effort and hours it takes. Especially when we go on an event and we have nobody watching the store and he decides to leave it on so you guys can buy stuff. When we come back to like 500 like orders. And that's like 7 to 6 hours of nonstop getting it out of the inventory, to making sure it's off TCG player. Then you got to put them in the envelopes. You got to make it look nice. You got to put the stamps on. Like, we do a lot for what we do.
I gotta say, I've only seen a brief part of what you do from when I come early. But the dedication and quality of how you do your work is amazing. Because I've seen the amount of orders that from time to time you guys get. And it's like you guys say, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
And you still manage to get your stuff out on time. You still manage to deliver properly, like to each person. And for the most part, from what I've heard, and seen out there, like they're very satisfied customers. So like that's great, So thank you guys for doing that. And what about the tournaments in Orlando that you guys been doing? How's that going?
Oh, those have been very good. So that's something we've been doing for about 3 years now.
3 years?
It's it's been about 3 years.
I'm old.
So we started with cash prizing because that's something Vanguard lacks when we go to regionals. It's always either trophy, promo, playmat, or just promos, or like, Worlds was just a piece of paper for the most part, right? So we were like, okay, we want to focus on bringing competitive Vanguard players, to a tournament where they can feel like they're winning something. And we decided that cash is the way to do it because, other places do promos and stuff like that, like Bushy, but there wasn't really a big cash tournament, especially down here in Florida. So we started at 250, and we raised the pot to 500. And then when Overdress came out, we had I think 750.
750.
Yeah, and that was our biggest turnout, which was over 100 players for Overdress, which was insane. That's when I was like, oh my god, we can keep this thing rolling. And we've kept it going for like, we were trying to go like every set release to the Ramada Hotel where we hosted, but they raised our rent a little bit, and then it just got more expensive to go out there, so we're keeping it at like 2 to 3 times a year instead of like 6.
Makes sense. And but you're not only offering the players like cash pricing, which is something that the competitive player base wanted. You're also changing the rules of the game for them to feel better in that competitive scene, because you also run best of threes, correct?
Yeah.
And you know, like all the little rules that matter, especially the biggest one, the biggest change that you made this year, which was what?
Banning OT.
Banning the OT in premium, correct?
Yeah.
And from now on, that's how your tournaments are gonna be, correct?
Yeah.
Hey, I will interrupt you because we're talking about the future of events. Things might be changing for the next season for the competitive side of Vanguard, because with the growth of the game and we've seen more and more people, and you've seen the events, you've judged it. You know, we put a lot of time and everything.
Yeah.
That we're looking into like how to improve that, and you know, I know you talk about 2 out of 3. We haven't decided on it yet. Like we're going to talk it through, and you know, like I said, we're not going to start it now because it makes no sense to start it now and then. You know, the invitational's in like a few months, like hopefully in a few months. We're waiting for singles to tell us the dates. So we're thinking about, this is just a heads up. Like I said, it's not official, don't freak out. You know, maybe if you want to hit us back with some feedback, just remember, you know, it takes time. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, everything needs to be, you know, done, but we were talking about going back, doing how Bushiroad does it, where it's best of 1 in Swiss.
Okay.
But then once you get into top 8 or top 16 when we're doing it, it'll become 2 out of 3.
Okay. And this would be for both events?
Yeah, well, it would probably be for both events.
Okay.
And it's only because, like, we've done it at the Ramada so many times to the point where one of our events, you were there, where it went so much in time because we had so many people and people went into time that we got kicked out of the venue.
Yeah.
And we had to do top 8 literally in a gazebo. And like in a table next to it. So we were thinking about, it's like, I understand nobody likes best of 1 sometimes, and not, you have to remember the game wasn't designed 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was made for best of 1s, and that's how Bushiroad does it. We like 2 out of 3, but because of time and everything, we were thinking about doing Swiss best of 1s. But then when you get into that top 16, or or that top 8, it's going to have that competitiveness of 2 out of 3, and that's not going to change.
Okay.
But I think that's going forward. Like I said, we're thinking about it. You know, hit us back with the feedback. We'll look into it. But that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like some feedback would be nice.
Yeah.
And then, so moving on, you guys run all these tournaments, you know, in that period in between, you know, like the off season, and then you come back this year again, and your team gets a little bit bigger, you know, like it has grown a lot, right? And then you go into Georgia, and what happens there?
We talked to Georgia again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, because I'm thinking Texas too. That's why.
Yeah.
Texas is like the one that's fresher in my mind. Yeah, I think it was Alex, Crow, and Andrew.
That's a brand new team.
That was a brand new team.
Alex was brand new too, right? Like,
Yeah, it was Alex was brand new. I think they topped in V
They topped in premium.
and premium, and it was Alex who just joined us.
Yeah.
Him and Andrew and Crow were like, listen, we're gonna take Alex. We're gonna try to get a top. And hey, I will never doubt Crow. Crow is the king of Georgia. Whoever is with him usually tops.
He's an amazing player, man.
He's a fantastic. He's humble.
I think he trained in the Marines, you know, like his back is strong.
Hey, I just want. There's a little detour because of Crow. Crow's just a smart, very smart player.
Yeah.
Very humble. We were lucky to visit him a week ago in Georgia when we went to Crow's Nest. And hey, he needs to keep doing what he's doing. I've already told him this. He's literally changed his whole dynamic to Kingslayer. Like he's like, I made Crow's team for that way when some people want to leave the team, we have more members. Like we just took one of his members and joined him to Kingslayer, which is Devlin. He was on Crow's Nest and he went to an event and got into the top 8. And then he's been dying. I know Richard's been wanting to put him on, and I agree. One day Richard was like, "Hey, let's add Devlin," and I was like, screw it. If you want to do it, you will do it. Put Devlin on, and he was from Crow's Nest. He was part of Team's Crow, and when I told Crow, he cried. He was like, "Dude, I can't believe you put him on," And it's the same thing with who else did we add that with Logan Johnson, who came from Team Eclipse. When he joined Crow, everybody was excited.
Yeah.
Little bumps, but that's no details about that. But the team's just always running. We just added another player who his first time going to Worlds was when he was 15.
Okay. Wow. That's
Sergio.
Yeah.
Crow's been talking to him everything. The funny story is when we invited him to the team, I was in a conversation with him and Crow, and I was like, "Listen, how would you like to be a Kingslayer?" After talking to him for a few minutes, and he's like, "No way, I gotta go tell my mom." And I'm like, "No, this is not serious, right? Like this is like a punk." He goes, "No, I gotta tell my mom." Apparently, the mom was so happy; she was in shock. She couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Because he's been dying to be on a competitive team, and he wants that growth and that family thing bond that we have. And he's super excited. Ever since he's been on it, it's only been a couple days, but he's very positive. I know you've talked to him.
I've seen him.
He's just ready to go.
Yeah. He's a very lively spirit. He's super friendly, super nice, and I gotta agree, man. Crow is one of the best people out there. He does a lot for the community. He is focused on growing the game and growing the community. Yeah. And he's so unselfish too.
Yeah, he will go out of his way, and I know the Battlefy is a thing.
Yeah.
But he'll go out of his way, and he won't charge you to train. He's like, listen, you want to play, he'll play you.
He buys decks for other people to play in locals.
Yeah. He does a lot. He goes out of way. Him and his girlfriend Bree.
Yeah.
Both wonderful people, and
wait. Bree took a picture of me from the back, and he showed my bald spot, man.
Well, that's between you and her. We'll just get a Sharpie and mark it. But no, they've been doing great. And Crow. Funny story with Crow is when we were trying to get him to join us, he was so humble. He's like, listen, I want to leave. I would love to be on the team, but I need to, not burn his bridges, but tie them down. And he's like, listen, I know I'm leaving Triple Sleeve, but give me a few days and then I'll let you know. And we left him alone, and then when he hit us up, we were so happy. But that man leaves he's very humble. Again, I said it 1,000 times. Love the fact that he's on the team.
Yeah, Georgia gotta take care of Crow, man.
Yeah, you don't take care of Crow, I'm gonna make a move to Florida.
So from there, okay, so you got your team top, and then you decide to do one more trip, and you go to Houston, right?
Yeah, that was a fun trip.
That was a fun trip. I was part of it. So for the first time ever, I gotta say, and toot my horn, I managed to get a top. And I got first place in preview with Eric and Ethan, and it was a blast. It was surreal. I still look at it, and I still can't believe it. So it was very fun, but it was more fun. The top matter, but the people and the group that we had around, because our team, we're friends, man, and we get along pretty well for the most part of it. And I know Richie made us go jogging the day before to train. The night before.
If you think I jogged, that's a lie. I essentially called an Uber to go to the venue. It was 5 minutes away. I was lazy. I won't lie to you.
No, but we managed to top there in that event as well. So how do you respond to this? The success that you guys have had, because you run the shop, and these people are representing your brand. They got your jerseys on, they're talking about it to people on forums. They're doing interviews with other YouTubers, and content creators. And, James, like you have that eye, you know, and that charisma to talk to people and drag them, you know, like into this team, you know, and form it, you know, like how did that make you feel, you know, like having so much success in this past 2 years so far?
I mean, I said it before, man. It's like let's put it like this. As much as we wanted the Miami Heat to win the NBA Finals, like it felt that way. Like if they would have won, you know, the streets would have been going crazy.
Okay.
If we had millions of dollars, we'd throw a parade. And like when we won, every time we won, we always do the right thing. We always go out to eat. We take the money out, you know, of the pocket we have, and we buy our members, you know, the people that won the food, and you know, we have a really good time. Like we celebrate.
Yeah.
We do a lot of trips. Like my number one thing is like, as much as we are a business, we are also a family, and I've always believed in this. And I told Richard when I first joined him, I'm like, listen, if we're gonna open a shop, we're gonna do it this way, and this is the way it's gonna be. We're not a warehouse. You know, as much as you might want to be a warehouse kind of place where you just sell cards and everything, I believe that, you know, I wanted some place where you can come and you can be happy.
How hard is it for you to handle the team?
It's a pain in the ass. I will tell you that. Like, there is a lot of cultural differences and a lot of problems that I have to handle. But overall, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, the people on the team is what makes the team. Like I said, I've been playing this game for 10 years. I know I've seen them all. I've had my own enemies become my closest friends, and like, aka Eric Zarita. And you know, I love the guy to death. I love everybody that's on the team. As much as, you know, people say, you know, I do things, but it was surreal. Like, it was great. Like, I hope the success keeps going.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna dominate the shit out of singles again. I mean, I'm gonna come back out of retirement and start playing again.
That's great.
So be ready for that.
I know you did very well this past BSF in Houston as well.
I did. I wish I didn't lose my first round.
Yeah. Sorry.
But no, it was really great. But the teamwork, man, it's surreal, man. It's just, you can't expect it. It's like drafting like an all-star team, and like every time somebody wins, it's not us winning. It's everybody on the team winning.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me as well.
And it is just the success of the team is just, it's not just one person, it's all of us. And I think as much as we grow, as long as we stay humble and we know that we can be, you know, professional, I think the winnings just keep happening.
What are you feeding these guys to?
Oh man, McDonald's,
Izzy Bond, Miller's,
what's it called? Applebee's. When we get going. No, we you don't understand. These guys, they get everything from us.
So you guys do other things outside of that?
Yeah. We do. Like we try to do as much trips, and you know, and we try to invite everybody. You know, I know everybody can't make it and all that stuff, and you know, if we can, like we were thinking about doing a beach day, like in the anime, where we get a house and we go drive check, you know, like Kamui did, you know, and G and all that stuff. And you might find it silly, but
I like it.
but that's what I tell Richard. Like, we can't always be working, and always stressing about a tournament. You need to have that fun aspect where you go to your friends' houses, you're hanging out for a whole weekend, and you just chill. You know, you just have fun, play games, enjoy yourself. If you put yourself too much on pressure, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. So, like, you know, I try to tell him, like, when we do on trips, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go to a major tournament, you go to a major tournament. Just try to have memories. Because you know, the big thing we had was like when we were all separated to Ohio and Crow's Nest.
Yeah.
You know, I told him, like, be thankful that you go on these trips because you make those memories. Because we're all getting older, and I believe that, you know, you gotta create memories.
I look back into all the trips that I made, and I don't regret any single one.
Nah, I don't regret it.
And I've had my encounters with bad luck.
Yeah.
And I still don't regret it.
What you gonna do?
So with all that you're saying, you know, you guys mentioned, you know, like you had Battle Spirit people earlier on. The climate in Vanguard has been changing a lot. There's a lot of people a lot of people coming in which are new to the game, and there a lot of different talks of like reboots because of different news that's not confirmed by the way so far, but Vanguard has changed a lot in this past year, I would say, right? Especially in the past few months, and you have had many new games coming into play. You have had Battle Spirits, and before that, which one was the one that we had?
One Piece.
One Piece, and players have been going into those games. Are you guys like you guys also branch out into those areas, correct?
Yeah.
And are there plans later on like for you guys to include this in the tournaments that you guys do?
I know we were talking about doing Battle Spirits.
For sure, I want to do Battle Spirits. The reason we're doing one at the store. I think next in August or something like that, a cash prize. I would love to do Shadowverse, which is another Bushiroad game.
That releases Friday.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fun.
it's very popular right now. It's very popular in Japan too, which is why I'm like, maybe if there's no major tournaments going on from Bushiroad, because Bushiroad hasn't confirmed anything for Shadowverse tournaments right now. So if they don't want to take advantage of it, we'll gladly host a nice 1K tournament or something like that for Shadowverse, because a game like that deserves a good tournament series.
Yeah, and I've seen people, ready to support it as well.
Yeah, there's potential to make tournaments. We tried for One Piece. It's really hard. Like with the way the world is, it's hard to get product.
Yeah.
If we can get product, we'll do anything. It's just listen. If you ask us to try to do it, and you're down to show up, we're here. We're always been here.
So what's next for you guys? What can people look up to?
Me owning Kingslayer. No,
you can own the corner.
I mean, I already said what we're thinking about. We're thinking about running a 2K. We did a poll, a 10K. We're looking at a poll. We got good feedback about the poll. Like I said, changing the rules for the next year. We're debating if we're going to continue our invitational. Because if we do the 10K, I would like to do 10K twice a year.
Yeah.
And I did express my feelings that we might test out what Bushiroad does, where we'll do a 10K team event and then a 10K single event.
That sounds interesting.
That way, you can say, "Oh, I won 10K with my best friends." Yeah. And just to give you a heads up, if we're doing this 10K, first place is going to be top heavy.
And then you can host the series here in your store so that people can come over, and if you haven't been here, just like Joseph did, he came all the way from New York, New Jersey, was it?
New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah. He came all the way to meet us, to look at the store. So if you have the possibility, come join us for one of these tournaments.
I told one guy in the comments, I'm like, listen, I read the comment, he was like, hey, listen, I buy a bunch for you, and I was like, he's like, that's what it looks like. I'm like, yeah, dude, if you come down, join us, man. And I think the future just holds a lot of more people coming. I did talk to Richard about this, and I think going forward to support Crow, we're gonna start advertising not just Kingslayer. It's gonna be Kingslayer X Crow events.
Okay.
That way, his brand grows up.
Yeah.
As our brand grow.
That sounds perfect. Cause I remember also when we first approached him in Atlanta, the words that I told him is for us to collab together.
Yeah.
To try to grow that community. Not just about one person. And he's always putting Kingslayers out there.
Yeah, we like I said, no spoilers or anything, and no promises. We've been talking. We're also thinking about maybe hosting a 10K in Georgia, because I know a lot of big complaints is, I don't want to go all the way to Miami, or Orlando is too far, or I can't. It's always this. So we've been talking to Crow about maybe he has empty venues or something that we can go.
Yeah. And
he knows a lot of people. He can get venues like it's no tomorrow. And we've been in talks, and right now we're waiting for a talk back for a venue that he's talking to a guy, and if everything works out, the 10K might be maybe February, April, May, depending on next year, depending on how the rest of the year goes. We are going to be traveling to probably 3 events this year.
To BCS?
Yeah, for BCS. We will definitely be in Houston.
Are you gonna be signing autographs?
Yes. If you come up to me, I'm big sexy. We will be going to Houston. I want to fight Team Ham. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Team Ham.
Team Ham. We'll be going to Houston. We'll be defending our titles in Georgia again. Andrew needs to I'm not worried about Crow, but Andrew needs to go for the repeat, or I'll take it. We will, and then our third place, we're looking at either somewhere in Chicago or New York.
That's good.
So we are going to be traveling, and we will be hopefully going to these events and getting more people to us. And it's funny because when we were at Crow's Nest, I'm sorry for the side note, we've had several people. I had one kid come over and he's like, "Hey, listen, I want to join your team. What do I have to do?" And I'm like, "Hey, listen, you talk to Crow, join Crow's team, and there's the birthplace." I pass him straight to Crow because if Crow gives me the thumbs up, hey, listen, anybody he says, I'm willing to put on. He's NXT and we're WWE, or shout out to AEW.
Yeah, you're gonna start something with Crow. He's a fan too, so
yeah, no, that's why I said it. We'll go to AEW. But no, it's been great. I'm enjoying everything.
Well, that's all I had on my side today. I just wanted to do like a recap and try to bring to light like everything that you guys have done over the past 2 years and where you guys are at now, because I know it's been a little bit silent, but the channel's gonna come a little bit like with more content now, so just expect it. So I just wanted to bring you like an up to date to know like what they were going through. It's not like they don't want to make content. It's like the busyness,
it's been busy,
all the stuff that they have to deal with. They're not just taking care, of just like a podcast. Like it takes more, because it's just like getting the time for the podcast, getting the people for the podcast, because not everyone's schedule is the same, and then arranging it, and then the editing, and it takes like so much to do. Like even at something so simple. So like on my side, like that's it. I want to thank you guys for giving me this time, because even doing this was a little bit rough, and it was also improvised as well with very brief time to prepare. And I'm just gonna leave the floor, and James, if you can close us out too.
I will
final thoughts.
So my final thoughts. Okay, cool. I get to rub my mouth now. No, I'm just kidding. The podcast will be coming back. I've already talked to Richard about bringing it back. We have a lot more stories to talk about this time around, especially Houston. But we hear you guys. We appreciate the support. I love everybody that comes up to us. I love everybody on the team. I love everybody thanks for every YouTuber and content creator that has shut us out. I know Jose Nieves has said some, Kaminarame that says stuff. I know even WCC, when Alex talked, he did a review on him, and like shout out to them. I know they might never watch these things, but if they do, thank you guys for supporting Kingslayer. Yeah. Thank you guys for like the little things, man. Even if only like 500 people watch this thing, bro, we appreciate every each one of you guys. You don't understand what it means to us to have such a successful 2 years, I guess, But it's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to like see what goes next. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I feel like we're very lucky to have such a good community in Florida and Georgia that continues to support us locally.
Yeah,
this store would not exist without that. That's for damn sure. I also want to thank Peter for doing this interview. It was very nice. It went very smooth. And also, everyone on our team, we're also very lucky that, we treat them as family. They treat us back the same way.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for sticking with us. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with everything that we're posting on the channel. For all your trading card needs, go to kingslayercards.com. And if you have any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Thank you.